Oh, Bill Housden.
Tom.
Hi there, nice to meet you. You're right. Yeah, cool. Oh, hang on. Yeah. How's it going? Right. You've been writing letters to the estate of Mr. Smith regarding my boat, basically.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, Mr. Smith doesn't own a boat. I'm Mr. Smith's executor. And I've basically come down just to show you that I'm a real man. I actually do exist. I'm not Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
And I don't. Yeah. Basically, Mr. Smith doesn't have anything to do with the mode of carver. So.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as that's understood.
You navigate.
I live on the river, on the boat, wherever I stop, basically.
So you know that you need to register the boat?
There's not actually any lawful basis for that. Obviously, as you're aware, Broads Authority are a limited company, registered as such. Well, you are. Well, you are registered as a limited company. You can look it up. It says in your Act of Parliament the Broads Authority exists still as a body corporate. Is that agreed?
The Broads Authority is a special statutory authority.
Yeah, but a body is a corporate body.
Well, I don't need to discuss that, Tom.
Well, it is. It says in the Act of Parliament. I mean, I can get it if need be. It says in the Act of Parliament it's a corporate body. Okay. The bylaw. Well, you know the legal.
Would you like to register the vessel?
Well, I decline that because I don't wish to. I'm not under any obligation to register it because of the fact of what a bylaw is. Obviously, bylaw is a rule of a corporation. The Broads Authority is a corporation.
So if you don't want to register it, then I have to just proceed.
Proceed against
with
what?
With the way that
for what aim? What aim? What end are you trying to achieve by that?
The vessel needs to be registered at least per toll.
Why? Why does a toll need to be paid?
Because that is the law, unfortunately.
That is the law. The law of the land, you say.
It's the bylaw. We have statutory rights to collect that toll with the navigation authority.
But a bylaw, has been discussed previously, is a rule of a corporation. The Broads Authority is clearly a corporation because it says in the Act of Parliament. Are you disputing it? So you're saying you're not disputing it. Well, it's quite clear it's quite written. It's quite. Well, I don't recognise the Broads Authority.
That's fine.
So we're agreed there's a disagreement.
The courts or not?
No, I don't recognise the magistrates' court because.
The process that I have to
go through. I can't recognise the magistrates' court because they're also proceeding, against the law fraudulently because they don't have juries.
There's any basis of
the problem with the magistrates' court is they're not a court of record. And this country is a common law jurisdiction, so it has to.
I'm going to have to stop you there, Tom, because we're obviously not going to agree.
Yeah.
The facts are that you need to register the boat and pay a toll.
Well, I'm disputing that. I've set out reasonably in writing my dispute with that, and I've received is a disagreement with a disagreement. But but I've explained how and why I disagree. You're not capable. You're not capable of explaining your disagreement. I don't
need to explain it any
well,
further, Tom,
you do.
Because that's the situation. You know from appearing at the court before.
Well, you do.
What the situation is.
Well, what happened at court is it was made quite clear.
So therefore, I have nothing
have you received any money yet? Have you received any money in relation to the maid of carver yet? Have you?
All right. I don't know how that's come to be, but the court has been passing money to you. Yes.
Right. So what's the problem?
Because you should pay it before it goes to court.
Well, I don't see why I should have to pay anything. I mean, I've set out my disagreement. That's not even the courts proceeded fraudulently because they didn't even address the disagreement that was set out in writing. They do proceed fraudulently.
You can either pay it or we have to deal with this through the court and we take the vessel and dispose of it. It's
my home. It can't be taken.
There's a court and we'll take it through the courts. If there's a debt on that vessel under the Hamilton Rem,
well, the vessel doesn't exist. It's not registered. How can a toll be paid on a vessel that's not registered?
The vessel does exist. It has a registration number.
Well, it doesn't. It has no registration number.
Well, that's another offence.
It was formally registered, but it's not been. The registration ceased when it became my home, and that's that.
You're using a boat.
It was formally registered.
That has a registration number.
As is my right. The Broads is there for anyone to use,
yes,
and there's no reason for it to cost money. Pay a toll for what?
For using the Broads.
Why? Is it the Broads private now?
Are the private?
I pay for my own moorings. I mean, I'm happy to offer my time if there's need for maintenance, but As far as I'm concerned, I'm quite sure that the river would be navigatable at certain states of tide without dredging. So perhaps maybe it. Perhaps maybe it's.
Dredge the vessels that go aground. The incidence of those would go up dramatically.
So it is purely for dredging. So I'm not obviously. So why the need to pay for all this?
It's not purely for dredging.
It's not purely for dredging.
No.
Right. But it is.
It's maintaining mooring places. Yeah. It's maintaining facilities.
But the fact remains, it is a voluntary thing because it's because of the statutory makeup of your organisation.
I've told you the regulations. You know the regulations. Going to speak through the courts before.
Well, I know the argument wasn't addressed in court, and the court proceeded fraudulently.
I can't listen to that, I'm afraid.
Okay. Were you at court?
I was not.
Did you even bother to go?
My representative was at court.
Your representative.
Yes.
Did your representative ensure that all? Did the representative ensure that all of the paperwork was read in the court and everything was looked into with due diligence? Well, if you're taking court action, if I was to take court action, I'd certainly make sure I was at the court.
I don't need to.
You don't need to?
No.
Oh, so maybe you're incompetent. I mean, you should make sure things are being done properly.
If you think I'm incompetent, but I can assure you I'm not.
Yeah. All right. Well, I still disagree.
Well.
No. I'm putting that on the lawful rebellion sides, basically.
You will get a summons in due course.
Well, I won't receive anything. So, I mean, who will get a summons? Who do you even believe me to be?